USA. Northwest. Ooh, okay. In this video, myself, a Canadian, is taking on the USA versus Canada map to see if I can determine which country I'm in some very difficult toss-up rounds. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Geoguessr YouTube channel where, like I said, today, a Canadian is taking on another USA versus Canada map. Last time I decided to see if I could figure out where I was in the USA. Last time I tackled USA on a video, but today, it's more of a toss-up map. A lot of the time when you're playing Geoguessr, you'll have rounds where you can't tell if you're USA or Canada, you can just tell it's North American. But today I'm taking on a versus map here to see if I can determine with a high accuracy which one I'm in. This is going to be tough. I feel like I know what Canada looks like on Geoguessr, and we're going to have a play-along link for you guys here today. We're just going to paste it over here, and we can put that in the description for you guys to play along. But like I said, I think I know what Canada looks like for the most part, but sometimes it can get really tough, especially when you're in the northern US without any signage. So without further ado, let's get right into this. No time limit on the rounds, but you are not allowed to move around. That's the big thing. So first one here, these look like almost Native Americans, maybe. I'm not really sure. Or maybe, yeah, this looks kind of Native American. I'm not sure though. 212. That's tough. I don't know my Canadian area codes very well, I'll tell you that. But right away, as someone who's visited New York City, I'm pretty sure I can tell you this looks like a New York license plate. Yellow with the little black at the top. I mean, to me, this looks like New York. Let's see if there's something on this here. We're in every neighborhood. 212 residential. There's not a whole lot written there. Do not enter. I mean, this actually might not be. Do I think those plates are maybe not New York? Maybe they're New Jersey or something. But regardless, I don't see this being anywhere in Canada. Nowhere in Canada has yellow license plates like this, as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to guess we're in New York, New Jersey somewhere. I'm just going to guess right in New York City, which is pretty close to both. I don't think this is New York City, but if it is, it could be a real benefit to us. So let's just try it. It was New York City. It was Long Island City, Hunters Point. So look at that, 4960 right off the bat. I could tell it wasn't Canada, but not only that, I pretty much pinpointed the location. So, wow, that is an awesome start to this video. Clearly, I know what New York City looks like. Let's move on to the next round. Now this one's more difficult. But it's not really. So as soon as I looked at this round, I'll explain my thought process to you guys. Now, I have played my fair share of Canadian Geoguessr maps. And when I saw this landscape, a bit of this architecture, this looked like northern Canada, maybe somewhere in British Columbia, where it gets very hilly and mountainous, maybe somewhere even further north like Whitehorse. But there's one thing that gives it away to me. Do you guys remember when I said there are no yellow plates in Canada? There's an awful lot of yellow plates around here on these cars, right? Well, they do have yellow plates in Alaska, which makes a lot of sense. I believe this is Alaska. It looks like northern Canadian landscape, but we have some yellow license plates. I think it's a perfect mix for this just to be Alaska. So I'm trying to see if I can get maybe a city here or something. This is very small to me, very hilly. This is a really cool looking place, I gotta say. I really like this. What does this say? The Plaza Shopping Center. Okay, well that doesn't help me a lot, does it? It looks very northern. We are a bit of an inlet to our south. I don't think this is Anchorage or anything like that. I could spend a bit more time looking around. I'm gonna guess, I mean, you know what, why not just guess on the outskirts of Anchorage? Doesn't really matter to me. Maybe somewhere like here. Yeah, maybe somewhere like down here. I don't know. But I think it's Alaska, and all that matters is that I get the country right, so let's go ahead and lock that in. Wow! Oh, so what it said, when it said Ketchikan on that truck, I thought that was just a name, but it was actually the town we were in, or very close to. And so look at this. You know what I said? It looked like British Columbia somewhere? Yeah, I wasn't lying. We were right on this little, not a peninsula, but this little part of Alaska that comes right down along the Canadian border. So we got the state right, we got the country right, but boy, was that ever close. So let's move on to the next round. Not a great score on that one, but I got the state, so I'm pretty happy. So let's take a look around here. This, ooh, that's an interesting color for a license plate. That might just be a vanity plate. I feel like that's probably not a real license plate. Looking around, I'm a little worried because, oh, well, I was. I thought this, I mean, I was pretty sure this was the United States right off the bat. At least that's what I felt. But as I looked around, I was like, oh, this could be somewhere in semi-rural Canada, like maybe somewhere in southern Manitoba. I wasn't really sure. Maybe somewhere in the middle of Ontario. But this American flag really helped me out. Plus, this kind of sign here, if you get it at the end of a road, so here's another little tip. I've been learning a lot of Canadian GeoGuessr metas, by the way, guys. But if you're at the end of a road and there's a dead end and it says you can go either left or right, this kind of sign here, if you see it in Canada, you have to be in Quebec. Quebec is the only province that uses this specific sign at the end of roads when you have a choice to go left or right. All other provinces use some variation of a diamond with a checkerboard pattern. But when I saw English with this sign, that confirmed we were in the United States, plus this American flag. Plus also the landscape. It just didn't feel super Canadian to me. You can get some places like this in... Oh, there's another thing right here, a speed limit sign. Of course, if it says speed limit and not maximum, you're in the United States. Canadian signs say maximum. You can get some houses like this in Canada, but ultimately I was pretty sure this was the USA, and I'm like 99.99% sure I'm right at this point. As for where in the United States, I don't really know. I feel like this is somewhere maybe along the East Coast. I feel like it's somewhere around here. A very, very vague region, but it doesn't feel super far north to me. I could be wrong. It doesn't feel like the deep south or anything, but I feel like it's more south than I'll expect. Like, it could be down here in Georgia. It could be anywhere in here. I'm going to guess somewhere in North Carolina. Just hedge my bets, see what my score is. Yeah, it was pretty deep south. We were in, was that Columbus, Mississippi? Yeah, so that was Mississippi. I mean, that's an interesting one because the funny thing is, like I said, when I first looked at the round, I thought, it's not impossible for this to be Canada. And that just shows you, like, upon a quick glance, especially when you're in a duel or something like that on GeoGuessr, guessing the country super fast can be extremely difficult. Because if you're inexperienced, that could look like Canada to you. It could have easily been here before I decided to look around for some hints. So we got the country right again. Again, not a great score, but we're 3 for 3. And I couldn't be happier with our performance so far. Now this is difficult. There are virtually no hints here, except for these trees are very tall. Some reddish soil, but I don't think that's necessarily the soil. I think it's just the mulch that they're using. The sign is unreadable. This is the first true difficult test of the video, I think. This license plate, I can't really tell. My first thought was that this was Canada. I feel like, I don't know if this is true at all, but I see a lot of architecture similar to this in Canada, but that's just from my experience being around my family in different cities. I've seen houses like this a lot around Canada, but I know that you see brick architecture like this in the United States a lot as well. The fact that the trees are this tall makes me think we're somewhere near the Pacific coast. So if this were Canada, I would guess this is British Columbia. I don't think you'd see this kind of like vegetation in Alberta or anything like that. So I feel like if we're in Canada, it'd be somewhere on the outskirts of Vancouver. But this one's almost impossible, guys. I don't really know. This license plate could be British Columbian, white with some blue, but I don't think it is. I think this is the US again for a fourth time. This kind of mailbox may be more common in the US. Man, I don't know. I really don't know on this one. But I'm not going to waste your guys' time. My gut reaction was that this was the United States. Even though this house looks like stuff I've seen before, I just think it's the United States. I'm going to guess somewhere near Seattle, maybe. Oh, this is so stressful. Is this going to be the first wrong one in the video? I mean, the odds say we should get a Canada very soon. We've had 3 straight US. We're going to go for 4. It wasn't Pacific. That was Atlantic coast with trees that high. Well, maybe it's a bit further south, so that makes a little more sense. Wow, my region guessing was completely incorrect. There must have been some kind of hints to tell me that we were on the East Coast and not the West Coast. I don't know what I was thinking, but hey, we were here in Virginia Beach near Norfolk, Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia. Not bad at all. We got the country. I ignore my guess. I'm sure there was something that some of you saw that would show you was the East Coast. I don't know why I got a very West Coast vibe. Maybe brick houses are really not common in the West Coast of the US. Now that I think about it, I know the timber and logging industry is very common up here. So I feel like a lot of houses are made out of wood. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. So it might make a lot more sense to have brick architecture. I know you get it a lot in New England. Maybe it goes a bit further south too. So that was kind of a dumb guess from me, but the trees made me think it was Pacific. Either way, we got the country right. So we're 4 for 4, 4 US's, and we're on to the final round of the video, or not of the video, final round of this first seed, and we're going for the 5K on this one. I mean, there's not much else to be said. We're on Jackson Boulevard, and I thought that was a street sign. We're on Jackson and Chipotle. Jackson and Chipotle intersection. See if we can find it. No, I'm going to see if I can find what this street is. Why am I struggling to find what this entrance on Franklin? So I assume it's Franklin and Jackson. Okay, so Franklin and Jackson in Chicago. Very east-west. Let's just zoom right into Chicago. It feels like we're right downtown. Let's go right in. Now, the problem is Chicago is such a... Oh, this is Jackson. Okay, perfect. This is Jackson. Chicago is such a huge city. But we found Jackson as soon as we zoomed in, right in the heart of downtown. That's Jackson in Michigan. We're looking for Jackson and Franklin, I believe. So let's look for Wabash State, Plymouth, Dearborn, Clark. This is the boring part of the video for you guys. Oh, there's Franklin. Jackson and Franklin. Oh, are we just at Willis Tower? Oh. $5,000 points to end off the seed. Look at that. We got the country right 5 times in a row. All 5 for the United States, which is a little frustrating because I was hoping I could use some of my Canadian knowledge to figure out where we were. But hey, I can't complain too much, right? Nice 13,000 score. I mean, it could have been a lot better, especially this Alaska guest took a lot away from us, and this guest that we're never going to speak of again. But that was pretty good. I think we should do one more before this video's out. Let's move back again, and yeah, let's just start another challenge link, and we'll go for round 2. Copy the challenge link. Here we go. So we're 5 for 5 so far. If I can go 10 for 10 in this video, I'd be extremely happy. It means I can pinpoint which country I'm in at least. Again, obviously my USA guessing is still not very good, but just knowing the country, especially if it's a country duel or something like that, can be very useful. Let's move on. Round 1 of the second time through, and immediately so I will say my gut is Canada immediately. But the problem is I don't know where in Canada, because we have brick architecture. We have front license plates. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is difficult. Okay, so in Canada, front license plates are not found in many provinces. Front license plates are found in Ontario, sometimes in New Brunswick. They don't mandate them anymore, but they used to. And they're found in Manitoba, British Columbia, and some of the territories. Obviously, this is not one of the territories. It looks way too far south. I wish I could read what that said. After seeing this, though, this is a huge intersection. What is there, like 5 lanes? At this point, 2 left turns, 2 straights, and 1 right. That's possible to find in Canada. But I feel like, ooh. Okay, so this is something that maybe some of you American viewers might not know. Maybe we're on a university campus. I think that's what we're on, because this looks like a frat house. Pi Kappa Alpha. Now, as far as I know, at least not at the university I went to in Canada, you don't get... there's frats for sure, but this kind of like, Greek lettering system, Pi Kappa Alpha, I haven't seen it. I don't know anyone personally that's gone to a university in Canada that has been part of a frat like that with that kind of naming scheme, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know if that's true. Just from personal experience, though, I feel like it's more of an American thing, very American movie thing, and obviously real life too. So I feel like we're in the United States. I feel like we're somewhere fairly northern with all this brick architecture. I don't recognize the license plates, front license plates. I don't know my American license plate metas, so unfortunately that's not going to be any help to me, but I don't know. I feel like this could be Ohio, like Pennsylvania, something like that. Maybe even somewhere more northeast, somewhere here like this. I'm going to guess Pennsylvania, kind of hedge my bets. It could be a lot further south as well, but I'm pretty confident that this is our 6th straight USA. Let's see if I'm right. It was Missouri. We were in Columbia, Missouri. Is that Columbia University then? Or University of Missouri. Yeah, so I was right. We were just off campus, and I assume they'll have the frat houses listed here. Pi Kappa Alpha right there. Alpha Phi Annex. Yeah. Okay, so all the frat houses. But there we go. We got the country right again. 6th in a row. Again, my USA guessing is terrible, but that doesn't matter for this video, does it? As far as we're concerned, I'm going 100% right now. I'm acing this quiz. Next round. This one's a little tougher, but I think it... Are there any Canadian locations on this map? I mean, like, I looked at it and I thought this looks very rural US to me. Rural Canada doesn't... You don't get buildings like this, like very dilapidated, old, falling apart buildings as much as you would in the USA on this map, I would say. I'm sure that's not something that holds true all the time, but... yeah, immediately my gut reaction was the USA, and this kind of... This building right here feels very American to me, with this little grate on the door, very small, complete brick house like this, all one color. I haven't seen that much in Canada, but obviously the American flag seals it. I feel like we're, I don't know, West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia. This was where my gut was, and again, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna stop trying to region guess the U.S. So I don't embarrass myself too much, but I think we're in this region, and we were actually just outside Louisville, Kentucky. So I got the region right on that one. It just felt like this kind of hilly, like I don't know what you call these. I guess the West Virginia mountains. There's something you call this region. I don't really know. Appalachian Mountains maybe. But hey, we got the region right of the U.S. We're at 7 straight. Is that 7 straight U.S.'s? I just want a Canadian round, really. That's all I want. No parking this block. The way that's phrased makes me think it's the U.S. again. And let me explain why. In Canada, yeah, we, at least again, in my experience, saying block to refer to, like, you know, I guess up until the next intersection, you do it. But I feel like it's not as common as the USA. Like, people refer to blocks a lot more in the USA. I feel like that's because a lot of cities are more planned out than Canadian cities. Like, if you zoom into Canadian cities, yeah, there's some kind of a grid, but a lot of the time the roads just kind of wind and go all around. They're not as planned as a lot of US cities. But I will say this round feels a little more Canadian with the trees, it's fall coverage. But I don't know. I feel like this is 8 straight US's. However, if this is Canada, it could very well be on the outskirts of somewhere in like Alberta, I think. Maybe the Calgary, maybe BC. I feel like it's not. I feel like this is northwestern US. But this is maybe the hardest round of the video so far. I cannot read that. This one's tough. I'm sure some of you are seeing stuff that makes a lot of sense. Also, these mailboxes. I don't see these very much in Canada, and when you do see them in Canada, it's often in, I keep saying Canada, at least around where I live. These are mostly rural, because I'm making a lot of generalizations this video that may not be true at all, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I'm far from a pro, but I think this is the U.S. again. I'm not really going to region guess. I'm just going to guess somewhere like Idaho, maybe like Boise. I don't know, it doesn't really feel like that, does it? But I'm just going to guess. I think it's the U.S. It was just Minneapolis, so it was Midwest. Right outside Bloomington, I should say. Bloomington near Burnsville. Yeah, we're US again. This is getting a little frustrating. At least I'm not guessing Canada on any of these American rounds. I mean, that's the benefit here. But anyway, let's take a look here. Knesset Road. I can't really see what that says. That could very well be wrong. I mean, again, this one feels like guys, we have a Canada. I said that I was going to say this feels a little like the Midwest US, but then I looked around a bit more, saw some of the grass. I couldn't really tell what this sign said. This could be from anywhere, but the thing that sold me is this right here. This little sign told me that this wasn't the USA. When you get this sign, these are found before and after guardrails or different basically protections from stuff on the side of the road in Ontario specifically. These signs at the start of the guardrail, which I don't know if we can see the sign. Let me go back and look. Yeah, you can't see it, but at the beginning of this guardrail, you see these along the guardrail too. But at the beginning, it'd be green on top, white on bottom, and at the end, it's white on top, green on bottom. These are found near a lot of guardrails in Ontario specifically. Let me just make sure that the license plates seem to match up. Transport trucks, you can't always tell. See, Ontario just has white license plates, sometimes with black, sometimes with blue text, so it's really hard to tell from this distance, but I think all things are lining up, though I will say this kind of looked American to me at first. I've pretty much confirmed it's Ontario. As for where in Ontario, I don't really know. It's pretty flat. I feel like we could be somewhere out here, maybe near Peterborough, Norwood. I've been to these areas. Maybe it's a little more rural Ontario, but I know this is Canada. And oh, it was way southern. It was almost in Detroit. We were down southwest of London near Chatham, Ontario, Highgate, Ridgetown. Our first Canada of the video, and we nailed it. So that is great news. We had 8 straight US's, and we nailed Canada when it came up. I was ready for it, and it paid off. And let's look at this last round. This is an extremely easy one. This map is... Maybe I shouldn't have played this map, because you do not get these kind of palm trees in Canada. It just doesn't happen. I mean, this could be Texas, it could be California, this could be Beach Boulevard, yeah, I mean, cobblestone apartments, USPS, that's the US Postal Service. This street here kind of reminds me of the movie A Man Called Otto, which I watched recently in theaters. But yeah, no, this is just the US. I mean, there's nowhere in Canada that looks like this. This is Anaheim Express. We're not going to hesitate. We're going to go right into California, and we're going to go in Anaheim, and we're just going to click, and yeah, look at that, 6 kilometers away. So ultimately, we had 9 US rounds and 1 Canada round, and our score was 13,000, about the same as last round. But I was able to determine that it was Canada or the US every single time correctly. So we went 10 for 10 on that front. And you know what? You know what? I kind of want to go again, guys. I kind of want to go again. I'm going to go again, but this time I'm going to go speed round. We're going to give ourselves 10 seconds per round, because I just need to see more Canadas, right? I got to see if I can determine them quickly. A final speed round to end the video. Why not? We're at 20 minutes. Who cares if it's a couple minutes longer? Let's go. 10-second speed rounds here. 10 seconds. Oh, this could be either. This could be either. I think this is the USA, though. I think this is the USA. Somewhere around here. Let's go. Oh, look at that guess. Very close. It felt similar to the other Louisville round we had. And actually, we were very close to that other one. That's why I guessed there. I guessed in Ohio. But yeah, 3880. Let's get ready for the next round. Powwow River. Ooh, this feels... Oh, I don't know. I think this is the USA, but very northern USA. It is USA. Oh my gosh, 10 seconds is so stressful. We were almost in New Hampshire, but I think we were still in Massachusetts. As far north in Massachusetts as we can get. I knew it was northern USA. I just panicked and clicked in the exact same spot as last time, even though it looked nothing like Ohio. But I digress. We're going to move on to the next round. Come on, 10 seconds per round. Give me a Canada. This is the United States. This is definitely the United States. It feels a little more southern. A little more southern. So North Carolina, Tennessee. Okay, it was Illinois. I wouldn't have got that. But hey, again, roughly the right region, kind of. This kind of area here, not bad. A lot of USA locations on this map, not a lot of Canadian ones. This... USA. Northwest. Ooh, okay. I thought that was BC. I thought I was going to get embarrassed and it was going to be British Columbia. But no, we were right on the money again. We've had 1 Canada round through, what is that, 14 rounds already? Oh my gosh, okay. Let's go. Let's go 5 for 5. Nationwide. Berkeley City College. Is Berkeley in California? I don't think this is Canada. This doesn't feel like California at all. Let me go. Oh, it was California. It was Berkeley, just outside Oakland. I should have known where that was. I knew Berkeley was in California, but I didn't know where, and look at that. That was our best score of the video. Our best score came on the 10-second speed round. Well, I mean, this map, maybe I'll find a different one to record this again sometime, but this map had 14 United States locations, 1 Canadian location. 1. So, I mean, I got the Canadian location when it was there, and hey, honestly, I think it's pretty good that this map was giving me a lot of the US, and I was never baited into clicking in Canada. So, if there's anything to take away from this video, it's that I can determine when I'm in the US, at least I think. Maybe there are some other maps that have more difficult toss-ups, but I'm pretty proud of my performance today, and I think you guys will probably enjoy this video. But thank you for watching if you made it to this point. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Geoguessr channel. I'll be back with more content just like this. I'm Geoguessr. We'll catch you in the next one.